Okay, councillors, 4:31. I'll open today's meeting. Firstly, by acknowledging traditional custodians of the land we meet on this afternoon, the Wiradjuri people, and pay my respects to the elders, past, present, and emerging. I notice we've got a couple of people in attendance and up the back, so for the housekeeping, the emergency procedure is to exit through the door leading out to the building directly opposite the council chambers and proceed to the footpath and await further instructions. Hopefully that won't be needed. The next item is a public forum. We have no speakers in public forum today. That takes me on to live streaming, recording and publishing of council meetings. Getting feedback from somewhere. This council meeting is being streamed live, recorded and published in accordance with council's live streaming and council's meetings policy. To those present in the gallery today, by attending a public meeting of the council, you are consenting to your image, voice and comments being recorded and published. Anyone who is invited to speak will be recorded and their voice, image and comments will form part of the live stream and recording. The Chair and or the General Manager have the discretion and authority at any time to direct the termination or interruption of live streaming. Such direction will only be given in exceptional circumstances where deemed relevant. Circumstances may include instances where the content of debate is considered misleading, defamatory or potentially inappropriate to be published. Attendees are advised that they may be subject to legal action if their actions result in inappropriate and or unacceptable behaviour and or comments. Today's meeting is being streamed live as well as recorded and published on Council's website. Next item is attendance. Apologies. Do we have any apologies? We have a leave of absence from Councillor Wallace, I believe. Moved Councillor Manchester. Seconded Councillor Walker. Thank you. Those in favour? Unanimous. Thank you, Leanne. Could we please be upstanding for the expressions of sympathy? Join me in having a moment's silence for the following, please. Jeffrey Choate, Terence Callaghan. Thank you. Item 6.1 is the confirmation of the minutes of Hilltops Council extraordinary meeting on the 27th of November 2019. Move Councillor Horton. Seconded Councillor Plenary. Thank you. All those in favour? Aye. Again? Unanimous. Thank you. 19412 is confirmation of the minutes Hilltops Council ordinary meeting 27th of November 2019. Move Councillor Horton. Seconded. Second Councillor Manchester, was it? Sorry, yep. Councillor Armstrong.
What a clarification regarding this. I note that the meeting practice policy section 11 in regards to voting. I'm aware of resolution 19414. When I count the votes for and those against, and note the extension of the mayor from voting, it would appear as though there's a 5-5 result rather than a 5-4 result. Based upon the code of meeting practice, the mayor decides not to exercise his casting vote and the motion is lapsed. The minutes are incorrect and that 19414 failed on technicality. Can I just have some clarification?
Councillor, from some reading that I've done recently in regard to another matter, there's another section of the Act on 374, I'm not sure of numbers now, that would override your point of order if it was correct, because once I declared that as a carried or non-carried resolution, it is lawful. So I think that part of the Act would override your comment.
So the reliance there is on section 374 of the Act, is that correct?
That would be my undertaking. I haven't read that yet.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we had a mover and a seconder for those minutes to be accepted. All those in favour?
Aye.
Again? Councillor Armstrong noted against, please. Okay, the next one we've got the mayoral report for November. I think it's all there. There's maybe a couple I've got to the meeting with the senior police.
Point of order,
yesterday.
Mr Mayor. I think we have some declarations of interest.
I'm sorry, Councillor Tuckerman. Are there any disclosure of interests? Councillor Flannery.
19415.
Thank you, Councillor.
And
Councillor Manchester.
The same one, non-pecuniary interest.
19415.
and Mr Mayor.
443.
And Mr Mayor, a non-pecuniary interest in 19426.
Sitting at the top of the page, number 7. Thank you. That'll take us on to the next point. 19413, the Mayor's Diary. As I said, it's all there, and maybe a couple of extras. The young high school presentation last night wasn't on there, and I did plan to meet with the senior police yesterday, albeit a bit late due to other connections. But it's there for to receive a note.
Can I ask a question, Mr Mayor, please?
Councillor Tuckerman.
I just I just wanted to talk about your mayoral blog, which occurred after the last meeting of council, and the concern that I've been hearing is the community are a bit unsure on what council's position is in regards to demerger. Now, I note in your blog that you encouraged community members to sign a petition to...
I might just jump in there before we go any further, Councillor Tuckman. I encouraged citizens to take the opportunity to sign the petition if they felt that way inclined. Sorry, wait, go.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. So I guess my concern is that when we're encouraging or not encouraging, there is a minute that's currently on the books in regards to the demerger, and that was moved by this council on the 26th of September 2018. And that merger that was passed was quite clear that we weren't going to encourage any democratic process to demerge. Now, I also note in the CRJO minutes that you supported a motion by the board of the CRJO not to support any demergers. So I'm just seeking clarification on where you stand and where council stands. I think the community need to know that there has been a motion passed by this council in regards to demergers. We had 2 councillors actually speaking about demergers at the last council meeting, and their opposition to encouraging demerger. It's important from a council perspective that as the Mayor and as all councillors should be, they should be adhering to the motions passed at council. Invite your comment, and I would certainly like to see something go out after the next meeting stating where council sits in regards to the matter.
Thank you, Councillor Tuckman, for that question. As I've already spoke to, my comments in regard to that matter when I was asked about it was that I believe that every citizen is entitled to take their right to sign any petition if they feel that they're in support of what that petition is saying. I encouraged the community to take that opportunity. I didn't encourage anyone to sign it. I encourage them to use their right, the same as I encourage everyone in the community to write to our council, our local members, to take advantage of any grants that might be around. That is the opportunity that our community needs to have, and they deserve. From a council point of view, I supported a resolution at the CRJO, that's correct, that didn't support mergers, because I believe that was the feeling of this council, as you've just pointed out, Councillor Tuckman. So that's what and that's the way I voted at that particular meeting recently. But back to the regards to the video blog, my comments on there were exactly what they were, and they're there to be recorded, and they're still there. That I encouraged everyone to take the opportunity to sign that petition, so to enable them the same right as our neighbouring councils if they feel the same thing. My personal situation on amalgamation is pretty well known, Councillor, and you know that. I advocated for it alongside you when it started, and I haven't just spent the last 2.5 years of my life working tirelessly like everyone else to make it work. So I hope that clarifies my feelings in regard to it, and I'm happy to put a statement out on behalf of Council if Council has a statement they'd like to put out.
And just to reiterate, my concern was that the motion that was passed at that council meeting was that we would not support or encourage a democratic process. And I understand that a petition is a democratic process. It's just muddied the waters for our community as to where council stands. And I think it's important that we go back out to the community and tell the community what decision has been made at council. And until such times another motion comes before council, that is where this position stands. And, you know, no matter, you represent council, so it's important, and we are obligated as councillors to support council's decisions. And it's not, you know...
Point of clarification, Mr Mayor. I don't believe there's any obligation. If you vote against something, it's the adopted policy of council. There is no obligation for an individual councillor to support that position.
That's exactly what I'm saying, Councillor Flannery. We have an obligation as a council.
I'm saying we're not a caucus, we are individuals. There is no obligation. It's the position of council.
Excuse me, Councillor Flannery, under the Act, you do have an obligation. You might want to read your Act.
Excuse me, councillors, could I just... Well, we want to move on, but I acknowledge Councillor Tuckerman's point, and it's very correct that there is a number of decisions being made by the President Council that I was voted in the minority, but I've been out on the public stage and spoke to them wholeheartedly and supported the resolution of council, and that's my role, and I understand that. It's unfortunate that you feel the community have spoken to you about muddying the waters in regard to this. The Minister muddied the waters when the Minister made the announcement.
Point of order, Mr Mayor. The Minister referred to the Gundagai and Cootamundra Council merger, so leave that out of it. This is about the Hilltops Council.
Thank you, Councillor Tuckman. Could I have a move and a second for the mayoral report, please? Thank you, Councillor Armstrong. Seconded, Councillor Stadmiller. All those in favour? Aye. Again? Thank you. The glass is back on. We'll move on to councillors' reports, and we'll go around the room if you like. Councillor Horton.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. My report is not accurate. There were some changes submitted to be made and they haven't been made. So whatever's on the business paper, please take off the following. The Industry Capability Network work study, that was a non-event. That didn't happen. I didn't attend the Cherry Festival opening and I didn't attend the Cherry Festival crowning of the Queen. I intended to do that. When I submitted my activity report, they were on it. But I subsequently sent a cancellation.
They're not on it, Councillor.
They're not on it?
No.
Well, that's good. They shouldn't be on it. And the ones that should be on it that aren't on it is the Murrumbidgee High School Presentation Assembly, which I attended. Is that on there? The first and the other one's the Hilltops Council Christmas Party at BOOROWA. I attended the Brewery official opening of the Bowling Green and Community Hall amenities with Steph Cook. And just talking about that, on the 21st of October we had a meeting out there. They were out of water. Our director at the time, acting general manager now, John Oslin, told them that the reasons why, and we're putting a pipeline in for them to rectify that, and it would be operational within 8 weeks. And as On the Monday that it was there was exactly 8 weeks, and the water was ready to flow that week. They had a few electrical problems, so that's really good news for those people out there because it is dry. The other one that's not on the list is the Young Police District Meet Forum, which was on yesterday, which I attended.
Thank you, Councillor Horton. Councillor Armstrong.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. The Asset Management Committee meeting on the 28th of November, the 4th of December, Councillors' Workshop, 5th of December, the Hilltops ARIC meeting, the 6th, 7th and 8th of December, attended the National Cherry Festival events, and I'd like to extend my most hearty congratulations to all of the people involved in organising the Cherry Festival events. I would like the Acting General Manager to convey to our Parks and Garden staff in particular the fantastic condition and the visual amenity that was provided by those through our parks and playing fields during the period. I think it was absolutely exceptional, and it certainly demands recognition. I also attended the LEP Working Committee meeting on the 10th, the 17th, the Hilltops Economic Development Committee AGM, Hilltops Council Ordinary meeting today, and annual school presentation events at MURRINGO Public School, Mayomara Public School, Monteagle Public School, Coorawatha Public School, Bribri Public School, Hennessy Catholic College, North Young Primary School, St Mary's Primary School and Young High School. And I wish all the recipients of all of the awards all the best.
Thank you, Councillor Armstrong. Councillor Rolls.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Have you turned yours on?
Oh, sorry.
Councillor Horton. Microphone, please.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Councillor Horton and I have been crossing paths quite often over the last couple of weeks. It's listed as there. I also went to the Hilltops Christmas party, which was an inclusive event and had a very positive vibe about it, which was lovely to see. I went to Bribri with Councillor Horton and also to the police liaison meeting, the meet and greet. And I'd like to make special mention, as has also been done by Councillor Armstrong, of the National Cherry Festival, including the art show opening. There was a positive vibe about all the events, and I think everybody enjoyed the show, including the parade. So congratulations to everybody involved. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Councillor Stadmiller.
I'll keep it brief, Mr Mayor. On behalf of Goldenfields, I attended the TAFE presentation in Young, JUGIONG Public School, Murrumburrah Public School, Trinity Catholic Primary School and Murrumburrah High School, and had a great time at all watching the musical performances and so forth. It's very enjoyable to get along and see the children of today and what they're up to and how education's changed over the last few years.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Manchester.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. All the minutes, the meetings are all minuted, plus the LEP on the 10th, the 12th, and the VPA Greymont on the 16th and 12th.
Thank you. Councillor Tuckerman.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Last Saturday I attended the draw of the local business house initiative for the Hilltops at BOOROWA, and I just wanted to congratulate the business associations across the Hilltops for such a great initiative. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I just wanted to commend, I think Alison Foreman was one of the instigators, and Mike Ward from BOOROWA, and just congratulate. And it's something that needs to be done in regards to local shopping, and I think it was an absolutely fantastic idea. So congratulations to all the business associations throughout the Hilltops. I also attended Carols by Candlelight. I just wanted to, at BOOROWA, I just wanted to thank the staff, particularly Rowan and Pierre, who assisted on the evening with some issues around the the mics and electricity. Also Jodie and Deidre and Mel for the wonderful job they did preparing, and also the ground staff, because the recreation ground looked absolutely fantastic. And I just wanted to make note or ask the Acting General Manager that an urgent assessment needs to be done of the electricity at the rotunda. There appears to be, when the electricity board was taken down near the bridge, that something's gone wrong. So I just think there needs to be an assessment from a work health and safety aspect. And of course I'd like to also encourage our grants officer to start looking at a new system or grant applicable to getting a new system down there for events such as the Carols by Candlelight. I also attended the St Joseph School presentation, which was a lovely evening, and certainly congratulations to the award recipients and the new captains for 2020. And that, I just have a lovely little story, and I just need to tell you this story, what happened today. Bathurst Combined Pensioners Superannuation Association heard one of the local business owners from BOOROWA on Macca Around Australia last weekend, and she was talking about how tough she was doing in business in BOOROWA, and that her restaurant was suffering because of the drought and other factors, and also they have a farm and they were struggling to purchase feed for their animals. This group of pensioners came down today to BOOROWA. They had raised $2,000. They came to have lunch, 15 of them, at this cafe to support the business owner, and then proceeded to buy 7 bales of hay for them as well at a local business. It was just really heartwarming, and, you know, it was just fantastic to see. And these people were pensioners, and I'm telling you, pensioners, you know, they do it tough as well. So I was just overwhelmed by that gesture, and I congratulate those people. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Tuckerman. Councillor O'Connor.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. The 3rd of December, the Regional Tourism Committee. The 4th of December, the Customer Service Councillor Workshop. 11th of December, meeting re some grant application. The 12th of December, the HARDEN MURRUMBURRAH VIC, the Visitor Information Centre meeting, and followed by the Visitor Information Volunteers Thank You event. And for anyone who hasn't gone down to the Visitor Information Centre in Murrumburrah, it's well worth a visit. It's come up beautifully, and the volunteers are really proud to work there, and it's really lovely. Yesterday, the 17th of December, the Young Police District meet and greet, and this morning a couple of meetings re the Kruger Medical Centre, and then today's council meeting. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Walker.
Meetings minuted.
Thank you. Councillor Flannery.
Meetings is minuted. 16th of December, I had a mental blank now. HRDC meeting, asset management meeting, and meeting regarding doctors for the Kruger Medical Centre. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Can I have someone to move and second those reports? Move Councillor O'Connor, seconded Councillor Rolls. All those in favour? Aye. It's unanimous. Thanks, Leanne. Takes me to item 19.415. We had a couple of declarations around this up. It's the Local Heritage Fund 2019-2020. There's a recommendation and a report there, councillors. The council's going to leave the room. Who else had an interest in this one? Councillor Manchester, was it? Non-procuring, okay. All right. Councillor Fenrish left the room. Moved by Councillor Walker. Seconded by Councillor Armstrong. Discussion, all those in favour? Aye. Again? That's unanimous. Leanne, could you please let Councillor Flannery know that he can turn around, please? Item 19.416, the Stronger Communities Fund Project Updates. There's a report there, Council, and a recommendation. Move Councillor Horton. Seconded Councillor Manchester. Anyone got any questions in regard to that?
Yes,
Councillor
Mr Mayor. Just in regards to the tennis courts. There's 300,000 reflected against it, and again it's 350,000. Page 41.
Councillor, I'll take that on notice and have it adjusted.
Thank you. I've got a question about Alfred Oval. I may have missed it in my haste, but I couldn't see it on there anywhere. There is Alfred Oval there, but that was the very early one that was done with the small one in the shower and toilet rooms. But the new building, part of it, I can't see anything there. So I might just take that on notice and have a look at that.
Mr Mayor, I'll have to take that on notice.
Thank you.
Mr Mayor,
Councillor Flannery?
for the Director to take on notice, but and perhaps I missed it, but there was an allocation of 300,000 for the Harden tennis courts, but I haven't noticed it. If we can get that. Have I missed it?
I thought I saw it.
I don't recall seeing it last month either.
Okay, so we can take that on notice as well,
Yes.
staff, if it's not there.
Yes.
Can't find it, I'm looking for it now. Okay, and those three items, any other questions in regard to that matter? If not, I'll put that. Councillor Flannery, before I do.
Just on the Murrumbullrah Creek, when were we likely to have the next meeting?
We're just getting some more advice and probably early in the new year.
Yeah, all those in favour? Aye. Again? It's carried. Thank you. 19417, Cash and Investment Report. It's there in front of you, councillors, the recommendation. Moved Councillor Horton. Seconded Councillor Manchester. Questions or discussion? I'll put that. All those in favour? Aye. Again? It's unanimous. Thank you, councillors. 19418, Outstanding Rates and Charges Collection Report. Report there, councillors again, and the recommendation is there to receive and note. Councillor Walker. Seconded. Councillor Horton. Questions or discussion? If not, I'll put that. All those in favour? Again, unanimous. Councillors. 419, the development application stats for November 2019. They're there in front of you, councillors, and the...
Move them.
Moved. Sorry, who moved? Sorry, Councillor Manchester, thank you. Seconded, Councillor O'Connor, with a question. Question, Councillor O'Connor.
I'm not sure who I'm directing the question to because I don't think we have a planner. With the clock-stopped DAs, how long do they stay on until they're no longer valid? Because some have been clock-stopped for a very long time.
You might have to take that on notice, Councillor, and come back.
Thank you.
Can you...
We've got someone here.
Andrew, if you can answer. Yep.
So in terms of stop the clocks applications, council, when we do issue a stop the clock, we try to work with the applicants to resolve those issues. Our standard approach has been two letters for 28-day periods before council determines the application.
Okay, so if something's been stopped for 68 days, 300 days, they just continue to stay clock stop?
Until such time as council determines. We do have a process at this stage that we are looking at reviewing council's applications to see if we can get those efficiencies.
Thank you.
Mr Mayor, another question for Andrew, I think. I was approached by an applicant from BOOROWA recently, and they've had their application with council for over 4 months, and on the most recent inquiry, about 10 days ago, they were just told we haven't had time to get to it yet. Is there a process by which we acknowledge receipt?
Councillor, there is. If you'd like to forward me that applicant's name, I'll follow that for you.
Thank you. Any other questions in regard to that item? If not, I'll put that item. All those in favour? Aye. Again, carried. Thank you, councillors. Takes me to 19420. It does. The DA, one lot into two lot subdivision. Reports there, councillors, and the recommendations there in front of you. The recommendation has been moved by Councillor Walker, seconded by Councillor Horton. Questions or discussion? If not, I'll put that. All those in favour? Again, it's unanimous. Thank you, Councillor. 19421 and the DA, variation and conversion of the existing shed into a dwelling. Again, there's a comprehensive report there, councillors, and a recommendation.
I'm happy to move the recommendation with a question, Mr. Mayor.
Moved, Councillor Manchester, seconded by Councillor Horton. Question, Councillor Manchester.
I know the vicinity of this where this application is, and it is just a shed. How long are they? Is this going to be a permanent residence, and or is it over a certain period of time?
Andrew, can you speak? Can you turn the microphone on, please?
Thank you, Councillor. Through the Mayor, the application is for a permanent dwelling to be established on site. The application, there is an existing farm building that is erected on site that has been fitted out as a dwelling. The application seeks to regulate the use of the existing structure for a dwelling, and a building certificate would be obtained from council for the unauthorised fit out of the farm building as a dwelling.
The reason I asked the question, Mr. Mayor, was that I know the old HARDEN Shire had a policy where they would permit people to live in a shed or a garage while building a house. That's the only reason. I couldn't see anywhere there was another building.
Question, Mr. Mayor.
Question, Councillor Armstrong.
Mr. Mayor, I'm aware that this issue in regards to the illegal use of the property as a dwelling has been ongoing for at least 10 years. So it's not something new. Why has it taken so long to come to council? I guess this is something I'm trying to understand. And secondly, the issues that have been raised in the past by council and former councils, have they been addressed in regard to this current application?
Through the Mayor. The application presented to council, there is quite a bit of history that we are aware of. The application has adequate documentation for council to consider a development application. It has been referred to the state government for concurrence, given that it does involve a variation to the minimum lot size under the current young LEP. Concurrence has been granted. The plans and documentation that has been put forward demonstrates that there's adequate grounds for council to consider granting consent for their dwelling conversion on site. This application will seek to finalise the matter with regards to the unauthorised works that are currently on the property.
Are you there, if you want to?
Yep, Councillor Walker.
I noticed in our list of developments that was one of those development applications that has the clock stop.
Correct. With the particular application, there's quite a bit of documentation to support a variation for the erection of a dwelling on an undersized allotment. Council worked with the applicant to obtain that documentation to secure the concurrence of the state government. That concurrence has been granted, and today the application is presented to council with the complete information that's being provided to consider granting consent for the use of the farm building as a dwelling.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Answering those questions. Precisely, and yeah, good. Okay, we've got a mover and a seconder. If there's no other questions or debate about that matter, I'll put that. All those in favour? Aye. Again? Again, Councillor Armstrong, again, please. Again. 19422, GALONG Cemetery Gateway Incident. There's a report there, councillors, and the recommendation says receive and note the report.
Move the recommendation, Mr Chair.
Moved Councillor Manchester, seconded Councillor Horton.
Question, Mr Mayor. It notes the repair work will come from council insurance, or failing this, cemetery maintenance vote. I'm not too sure how damage by an operator, be it accidental or otherwise, should come from the maintenance of the cemetery. Can we get clarification on that, please?
Through the Mayor, we'll just take that on notice.
Thank you.
Councillor
Armstrong.
A couple of questions. Just Councillor in the cemetery, first of all. Secondly, I note that the damage is to be repaired prior to the lodgement of a insurance claim, or claim of our insurers. Can I please be advised what the excess on the claim is and what the automatic repair provisions of council's insurance are? Otherwise, I would suggest that perhaps repairing and putting a claim in is perhaps a little bit inappropriate, given it may need to be assessed. So if I can find out what the excess is, and can I find out what the automatic repair level on our PPE insurances, please?
And
through the Mayor, we'll also take that on notice.
So do we know who owns the cemetery? Do we own it?
It'll be owned by the Redemptorist Fathers, Mr Mayor. I would like to make... The repair work's been completed, and one of the staff has been very good with his time, and Kevin Hill's been very good in keeping the Redemptorist Fathers and the Cemetery Committee up to speed with it, but I can tell you that it's owned by Redemptorist Fathers, and I'm not too sure on the other questions, but I would like to commend him for the effort that he made following the incident.
Okay, on the comment, it's been repaired. That sort of answers Councillor Armstrong's question about claiming insurance if it's already been repaired. I don't know how that'll work now. And,
Mr Mayor, that doesn't answer the question at all. I've asked what the excess layer is on council's insurance, and I've also asked what the automatic repair levels are for council's insurance for these items. Okay. If the repair has been effected before a claim has been made, then a claim potentially could be rejected because it can't be inspected, the damage can't be inspected. The other, I take issue, as does Councillor Flannery, with the suggestion that we should be charging this cost back against cemeteries maintenance. This is clearly a matter that relates to the planned item and certainly has nothing to do with council's cemetery vote whatsoever at all.
Point taken on board. Okay, so there's questions that will be taken on notice. We'll get back to council in regard to those matters. Any other questions or discussion on that item before I put it?
Through you, Mr Mayor, I'll take on board the question about the insurance side of it, Councillor Armstrong.
Thank you. Put the dozen back off, please. Okay, so I'll put that item then. Item 19422. I've been moving to second. All those in favour? Again. Councillor Armstrong noted is against, please. Leanne. Item 19423. NEILL Street Harden tree replacements clarification. Report then, the recommendation is to receive and note. Move Councillor Horton. Seconded. Councillor Walker. Questions or discussion? Councillor Stadmiller.
Just a question, Mr Mayor. Sudden failure, what does that mean? 10 trees removed were from sudden failure.
Through the Mayor, largely that is normally wind, with sudden failure in a windstorm. That's probably the most predominant mode of sudden failure that we have.
Follow-up question, Mr Mayor. What would be done in the future to attempt to prevent sudden failure in the future?
Through the Mayor, staff are going to do some probably better pruning and just better overall looking after these trees, but we're also going to do some better deployment or change our deployment method with the new trees that are going in. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions in regard? If not, I'll put that. All those in favour? Again, it's unanimous. Thank you, councillors. Item 19424, Swift Street, Murrumburrah curb issues. There's a report there, and recommendation says receive and note the report. Moved Councillor Horton, seconded Councillor Stadmiller. Question, Councillor Stadmiller.
Just a question as well, Mr Mayor. In my opinion, I think we can do some initial work on the current gutter that's there. I know there's a cost of $120,000 to bring the secondary gutter through, but the removal of those Currajong trees is a must if we're going to stop the water from pooling and then going down the owner's driveway in Swift Street. So if Council could look at the possibility of doing some initial work that might alleviate some of the issues that owner's experiencing.
Thank you, Councillor O'Connor.
Just a question, Mr Mayor, of one of the councillors. Does that gutter flow into the back of the nursery? Is that the same problem?
No, the issue that they're experiencing is off Swift Street, so the way that the gutter may have been previously built is flowing down the driveway into their garage at this stage. It's got green sandbags trying to prevent water, and I know rain isn't a big issue at the moment, but if we do get a freak storm, it could cause some major damage.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions in regard to that? If not, I'll put that. All those in favour? Again. Thank you. Order 425, North Street, Murrumburrah, new curb and gutter. A report there, and the recommendation, receive and note the report. Do I have a mover? Councillor Horton, seconded Councillor Rolls. Questions, or Councillor Stadmiller?
Mr Mayor, financial implications for the North Street project are set at $6,500. That figure doesn't seem to be a lot of money. I'm just wondering how this actually occurred and how Council managed to make a mistake on both the gutter height and the length of the gutter, and what controls will be in place in the future to have this not occur.
To the relevant director.
Through the Mayor, I think the report articulates just how it's occurred and measures that we're going to deploy to hopefully head off this sort of thing in the future.
Thank you for that. Question, Councillor Flannery.
When was it redone? I wasn't aware that it had been redone.
Councillor Flannery, I was out there about 2 weeks ago, and the curb was being, the curb inlet was being adjusted then, about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, through the Mayor to the Acting General Manager, I may have missed this, but I haven't seen anywhere where we've talked about expenditure for the footpath in North Street. The footpath's just been done on the eastern end. We're talking about curb and guttering, not footpath.
That's corrected. That's correct, Councillor. It's all through as part of one project there, the Swift Street, or North Street, sorry, cycleway. That's been funded under SCCF and a portion of Section 94 funds. So that's all part of that same project there. The last of the footpath was poured today.
Thank you.
Other questions, Mr. Mayor? I've been made aware that a number of the residents along that street weren't necessarily given neighbourhood notification as well. So is that the case that they weren't given it? And what are we doing to assist them in regards to their driveways along the eastern part of North Street?
Through the Mayor, I do apologise that residents were not advised in that block. There's no excuse for it. We're now liaising with those owners now to just work through.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah, through the Mayor to Councillor Stradmiller, I have friends that live in North Street, and they've engaged Council to do the driveway, and they're very, very happy with the job and the price.
Okay, councillors. We've got a mover and a seconder for that item. I'll put that. All those in favour? Again. It's unanimous. Thank you. 19426, determination of transfer of Crown Road known as Willawong Road. We had a declaration of interest by Councillor Tuckerman. Councillor Tuckerman won't be voting on that matter. Okay, councillors. The report there, and there's a recommendation in front of you. Do I have a mover? Move Councillor Rolls. Do I have a seconder?
I'll second, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Winchester.
I have a question, Mr Mayor.
Question, Councillor Stadmiller.
Of what benefit is it to Hilltops Council to acquire this road?
Through you, Mr Mayor. I think the benefits I'll leave alone for the moment. The reality is that at various times our records show that we have maintained this Crown Road, in which case by default it almost becomes ours, because the Crown, the way the Crown works is once we maintain that road or improve that road in any way, at their request it becomes ours.
Just a question.
Councillor Armstrong, sorry.
Just to the Director, the Acting General Manager, sorry. The maintenance of the road, was that done on a private works basis, or is that done out of Council's revenue?
Through the Mayor, are you referring to past actions?
Past actions, yes.
I believe they were funded by Council, they were not private works.
Could I ask about some clarification? You believe? Have we looked at this? Believe doesn't really put a lot of confidence in me at the moment. Have we got records of that comment, or is it you believe?
Through the Mayor, I'll take it on notice.
As staff, I'd much rather take things on notice and then believe or think, because it's just not quite up to grade. So, Councillor Armstrong, would you like to put your question again, please?
Mr Mayor, some observations. I do notice that the road is a very poor formation, save as to about the first 350 metres of it. The estimate in the report, there's an estimate of $1,000 a year grading costs. I'd suggest that there's probably more than $1,000 to simply grade the table drains in one side of a 1.4 kilometre road than that. There appears to be no gravel other than spot gravel on the second paddock at approximately 1,000 metres in. To me, I don't believe that the road is of a sufficient standard to meet with Council's current policy in regards to the acquisition of the road. I refer to a decision earlier this year where Council resolved to take ownership of a proposed road, and the applicant is required to construct the road to a standard to the satisfaction of Council. I note that there's no such requirement here, and with respect, what looks like little more than a private driveway, a track, I'd have reservations in being able to support any acquisition of the road and bring it onto Council's asset register. I also would like details of the works undertaken upon the road. Thank you.
Mr Mayor, question for the General Manager. The overlay, the white lines in the overlay, is that simply a misalignment of the overlay, or is that where the roads should be, noting that the white overlay is nowhere near the Douglas Road on the south side?
You are correct, Councillor, that it's a misalignment. I don't believe the ortho rectification on the aerial photos has been undertaken properly, which means that the aerial photos do not line up with the cadastre.
So, Council, that brings me to, we've had a mover and a second of what's there. If we vote on this, or it sounded like it probably should have been deferred to some more information provided to Council, but it's had a mover and a seconder, so unless something changes, I'll put the resolution. Councillor Manchester.
Look, I second the motion to sort of get it up and talked about. I have some of the reservations that Councillor Armstrong has about the work on the road. And if we take it over, what would be required to bring it up to speed. If there is only one house on the road, is another problem. And I know that there are other Crown roads around where we've done a lot of work on over the years, probably shouldn't have. And I think of some of the town streets are actually Crown roads too. But so the fact that it is a Crown road and we've done work on it, I don't believe is a good enough reason to just take it over.
Okay. Councillor O'Connor.
I'd also be hesitant to take it on because I think it sets a precedent for a single, owner. There's probably a lot of single owners who'd like their road taken over by council, and I just worry that we're going to be inundated by similar requests.
Okay, so we've had a bit of talking for and against. I'll take that as. So the mover and the seconder are happy to leave it there. I'll put that recommendation. Sorry, Councillor Walker, we're on 426. The recommendation that's in front of you. The recommendation reads, provide agreement for the Crown Road, known as Willawong Road, to be transferred to council as a public council road. Notes the low use of the road and the road categorised such to align with this use in terms of levels of service of this road. Noting the ongoing maintenance cost of the road and authorise the appropriate delegation to the General Manager to execute documentation concerning the transfer of the road from Department of Industry to Council. So that's what we're voting on. So all those in favour of that resolution? Those against? That's unanimous. Against that recommendation, councillors. 19.4.2, noting that Councillor Tuckerman was at an entry. 19.4.27, request change of date for the January meeting that we had set for the 22nd to move it to the 29th. Anyone can speak to this if they like. This is in regard to after having the last AREC meeting and talking about the financials being presented to council and the update support to council. They would appreciate having that extra week. Having the holiday time, the 22nd of January, they thought would be a bit short. So that's what they're asking for. So that's what the report and the recommendation is about. Move Councillor Horton, thank you. Seconded Councillor Manchester, thank you. All those in favour? Side.
Just one question,
Sorry, Councillor Manchester.
We set originally we set the date for the General Manager's interviews for the 22nd. We will still need to retain that as an extraordinary meeting.
We'll definitely.
Or unless you're going to move that.
No, we'll do that on the 22nd. The final interviews are on the 22nd of January. I don't believe that has to be an extraordinary meeting. I'm happy to have it that way, but with the full council there, if we make a decision to make an appointment, we can then confirm that appointment and we would take that to the council on the 29th. But we can do it on the 22nd.
If you leave it as an extraordinary meeting, you can do it on the 22nd.
Okay.
Mr Mayor, that would be classified as a committee meeting, so you can take the recommendation back to the next council meeting.
Well, that was my understanding, that we'd take the recommendation from that committee meeting back to the council on the 29th. And that would give that time to settle with the successful applicant, their acceptance of the offer for a start, and work out the fine points. So that's... Stay with the 22nd, yeah. Yeah. And yeah, you were out, aren't you? You're away. Okay. All right, so the council meeting we're talking about now, back to that, move from the 22nd to the 29th of January. I've had a mover and a seconder. All those in favour? Again. Thank you, councillors. Item 19.428, the Hilltops Works Report. Mover and a second. Mover to Councillor Horton, seconded Councillor Manchester. Big game tonight, boys. Okay, it's there in front of you, councillors, and the recommendation to receive a note. Any questions in regard? Councillor O'Connor.
I just wondered if anyone could give an update on the replacement of water lines, the ones that were needing to be replaced sort of around Albury Street, and I think Stair Street. Have they been done? Because some of them were priorities, and I'm just wondering.
Through the Mayor, we'll take that item on notice.
Just, Mr Mayor, a question to the Acting General Manager. gravel resheeting western area, Currawhyma Road. What arrangements are made there in regard to water for the gravel resheeting process?
Through the Mayor, I'll have to take that one on notice. Thank you.
Any other further questions in regard to the report? If not, I'll put... I had a move in a second, I did. I'll put that report. All those in favour? Aye. Again? Thank you, councillors. So be it. 19429 is the action summary report. We have a move and a seconder for that. Move Councillor Horton. Seconded Councillor Rolls.
Mr Mayor, can I just make a statement about something that I think is relevant to the action summary report?
Councillor Stadmiller.
I've been talking with representatives from the Harden Swimming Club, which now has 75 members. They're having a difficult time at the moment fitting in their time trials between 5:30 and 7 p.m. They're seeking an extension to 8 p.m. on a Friday night, which is one night a week, an extra hour for the War Memorial Pool to be open. Just wondering if Council can look at that, because 75 children is a lot to get through on Friday night, and it's great to have kids swimming and learning how to swim and enjoying the sport, and the biggest numbers the town's seen for a lot of years.
Yep, I suggest that's something you could bring to Council at the next meeting, I'd imagine, hopefully.
Through you, Mr Mayor, I think we can probably do that administratively if they make a request.
There you go. Any other comments in regard to that item, 429? If not, I'll put that. All those in favour? Aye. So be it. Thank you. The next one I have here is correspondence for attention, and it's just about the media releases. The recommendation there is to note them. I have a move and a seconder for that. Councillor Manchester and Councillor O'Connor, thank you. All those in favour? Aye. Thank you. 19430, JUGIONG Advancement Group 355 Committee Annual General Meeting and Membership Report. And it's there, councillors, and the recommendation is there. Move Councillor Horton. Seconded Councillor O'Connor. Questions in regard to it? If not, I'll put that. All those in favour? Aye. I'll do that. Thank you. 431, Hilltops Regional Tourism Section 355 Committee Meeting and Membership. Again, councillors, the report and the minutes are there and the recommendations there. Moved to Councillor O'Connor. Second to Councillor Walker, thank you. No questions. All those in favour? Again, be it. Thank you, councillors. We'll go over to 432, the Wombat Progress Association Section 355 Committee Annual General Meeting and Membership. Same story, the minutes are there, the recommendations there, councillors. Move Councillor O'Connor. Question. Get a seconder, Councillor Manchester. Question, Councillor O'Connor.
I can't find the action list. When you go through the minutes of the WPA meeting, there's various sections where it says action list, and I can't see where the action list has been put. So perhaps we just need to find that action list, because there were certain things that needed to be done.
Responsible officer, note that, yep.
Take that on notice, Councillor.
Thank you. No further questions in regard to that. I'll put that item forward to 3.2. All those in favour? Again, thank you. Item 19.433, the BOOROWA Community Garden.
Can I move a motion?
That's it.
I'd like to move a motion in regards to
Councillor Armstrong's motion. Would you like to move? Councillors ready? Councillor Armstrong.
That Council receive and note the minutes of the BOOROWA Community Garden Section 355 Committee meeting held 12th November 2019. Endorse the BOOROWA Community Garden Section 355 Committee recommendations as nominated at the Committee's 2019 meeting held 12th November 2019. A, that Steve Moss be declared President. That Maria Stanton is declared Treasurer. C is redundant because the Constitution very clearly states that they can operate a cheque account and not an e-commerce account. And that Council note the contractual arrangement with the MPHN.
So
you're saying just take it C?
I'm saying that that C is redundant because the Constitution provides for that, and that D should say that Council note the contractual arrangement for the MPHN.
So basically, yeah, you've taken out C and you've changed the word confirmed to note. Is that correct? That, Leanne, you're right with that? Councillor Armstrong has moved that motion. Need a seconder for that motion? Councillor Manchester. Just put that there. Any question you want to talk to that, Councillor Armstrong, or happy for me to put it? Or
I'm happy for it to be put.
Okay, there's no discussion about it. I'm happy to put that. I'm going to move in a second. All those in favour for that motion? Aye. It's unanimous. Thank you, Councillor. Councillors. (19.434) MURRINGO Community Association Inc. in Section 355 Committee meeting. Again, it's the report and the recommendations there, councillors. Moved, Councillor Horton. Seconded, Councillor Rolls. Questions or discussion? If not, I'll put it. All those in favour? Oh, sorry. Question, Councillor O'Connor.
Sorry, just a question. What currently happens with the hall and public toilet? So they're recommending that they be included in the council's cleaning schedule. What currently happens now?
As a 355 committee councillor, normally that sort of work is undertaken by the committee themselves. This will mean that there'd be an extra expenditure required on council's behalf.
And the pumping system as well, the pumping of the septic, what happens there?
I'll have to take that one on notice. I am not sure.
Yeah, there's certainly some... question, if I may.
Councillor Walker?
Yeah, I have the same concern. There's certainly some odd something about this. There's no record of when the septic system was pumped out of, and whatnot. And why... is that setting a precedence that council now clean the public toilets or village halls?
Leaving the cleaning and
yeah.
three-phase power.
The recommendation reads that they recommend the council does those things. That doesn't mean council's going to do those things. They're asking council, obviously, to look at those things, yeah.
Question, Mr Mayor.
Councillor Armstrong.
Can we have a look at the charter or the deed for this committee and the delegations? I'd like to see whether they're charged with the care, control and management of the facility.
Okay.
So that probably will need to come back to the next meeting. But I think that goes to the issue of whether the community committee is responsible for the cleaning or whether council.
Okay, so you're happy to accept this report as it is now? And councillors, are you happy to accept this report as it is now with them recommendations in it, or would you like to defer it or defeat it? On your hands.
I'll move defer.
Okay.
Well, we're going to check the report.
So, I had a move and a seconder. Now, the move and the second happy if this matter is moved to be deferred. The mover was Councillor Horton, and the seconder was Councillor Rolls. Are you councillors happy if this matter is deferred?
Yes.
Councillor Horton's happy enough to have it deferred. Councillor Rolls? Okay, so Councillor Armstrong's moved that we defer this matter with some further information so we can make a decision on it. Could I have a seconder for that, please? The seconder is Councillor O'Connor. And would read that this matter is deferred for further information to be provided. Happy enough with that, Councillor Armstrong? Okay, all those in favour? Aye. Again? It's unanimous. Thank you, councillors. 435 is the Hilltops Council Local Traffic Advisory Committee. Moved by Councillor Walker, seconded by Councillor Manchester. Questions or comments? Not, I'll put that. All those in favour? Again, it's unanimous, thank you. 19436 is requiring no action. Receive and note the minutes of the committees as presented, the BOOROWA Showgreen User Group and the Ride Park Progress Association. We move in a seconder, please. Councillor O'Connor. Seconded, Councillor Tuckerman. Thank you. All those in favour? None. Item 19437 has been obviously put in by the Acting General Manager, I presume, with the updated answers that were provided to us. Councillor Tuckman actually provided that with us to the last council meeting, so if I have a move and a seconder for that, we can move on from that one. Moved, Councillor O'Connor, thank you. Seconded, Councillor Stadmiller, thank you. All those in favour? Thank you. Now, in my book, I've got no item 438. Is that correct? There's no item 438. I go to close. We're into close now. No one got any, I think? Just a number issue, I think. No one else got anything there? Yep. Okay, so someone like to move that we go into close, please?
Mr Mayor, prior to that, can I just note in the recommendation to go into moved, that item into close, sorry. Item 4 and 5 indicate that it's under 10A2C, and I will believe that it's under 10A2I for both 4 and 5. Is that correct?
Pass it to the relevant staff officer or director.
Correct.
And can I also flag a declaration of interest for 19422, which I failed to notice before.
We have that noted, please. 19422. Councillor Tuckman had an interest. Okay. I'm after a mover to go into closed. I had. Where's that come from? Move to go into Councillor Flannery, thank you. Seconded by Councillor Manchester, thank you.
Beg your pardon, Mr Mayor, 442, sorry.
Aha, that's better. No, what did you say? You said 422? Yep, 422. Okay, all those in favour? Aye. Thank you. Councillors, we're now going into closed.